Pure elegance. That, of course, Ann Mendocino Pasquale. I found out today, because he would have joined me for our broadcast earlier, Dave Pasquale, that his beloved sister had passed away. And you know, one thing about growing up in a place like Beaver County, everybody knows your name or you know everybody else's name. And there are certain names that really stand out in various communities. Now, if you would go to Rochester, a lot of Pratts, believe me. Pennsylvania Avenue, they were everywhere, just about every other house for many years. I mean, let's face it, my uncle, 11 kids, my aunt, all in that 3-bedroom house. So that is really strength in numbers, right? All good. Now, New Brighton, the name Pasquale. If you mention it, 9 times out of 10, they're either with you in the same room or somebody knows who they are. And Mendocino, Beaver Falls. I've talked about that name many times, right? But let me just tell you about a journey that I had today as I made my way to New Brighton on a rainy Thursday afternoon, just part of another long day for your Pratt Pack. And I was rolling by my grandmother's house where I spent many wonderful holidays and Sunday dinners, and then past that Monaca SOI brand, but only in New Brighton. So wherever I am, I'm always looking for that Sons of Italy, always a place that was a welcoming sight. And when you think about the turn of the 20th century, many of the families that I just mentioned immigrated from Italy and came to this country. And a lot of those immigrants of that era built really the greatest generation, which in turn built America. And it was always the amazing women behind those men that I think got the job done. Those incredible mothers, but a special place in our hearts for Italian mothers. And yes, just a little Italian, but nonetheless Italian, my mother, Eva May Bango. And Ann Mendocino Pasquale, well, that's about as good as it gets when it comes to Italian. The Pasquale family, of course, her mother and father, she graduated from New Brighton High School. And yes, would go on to eventually marry her husband, Lottie, as he was known by many. And it's sad to say, she lost my closest connection to that family, Pete Mendocino, her son, who I have known since I was a teenager. And I always idolized him, and you've heard me talk about him before. He was an incredible teacher in the Beaver Falls School District, and he passed away from Lou Gehrig's disease. And any parent will tell you when they lose their child, they lose a part of themselves. And many believe that the beloved Ann Mendocino just had a very hard time moving forward after the loss of her child. That's right, very difficult for any parent to even think of such a thing. But I have such respect for my friend Dave Pasquale and what he has done with his children, his wife, and for many years as a local business leader who really could have pulled up stakes and just lived about anywhere. But he, like me, always just wanted to stay right here in Beaver County. And this is that small town that we are from. And as John Cougar Mellencamp wrote many years ago, this is where they'll bury me. And one thing is for sure, a lot of my family is now gone. And when I make those annual trips to various cemeteries throughout the year, I always see a name that just makes me think how important everyone's life is as far as your hometown. So, hey, you don't have to be from Beaver County and you don't have to be Italian to understand what I'm talking about. Every day that passes and we lose another member of that great generation, well, folks, it's going to be almost impossible to replace them. I just wanted to take time and send my thoughts and prayers out to the great Dave Pasquale, his family, the Mendocino family, and know this, the reason I did this here in the home office, just adjacent to the dining room here, is because that's how we roll, we Italians. Some of the greatest moments in my life, breaking bread, a pot of sauce with familia. So I will take a little time to say that prayer before my dinner tonight to remember a lady who made a lot of people happy in the dining room for those family dinners, Ann Mendocino Pasquale. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon.